Hello everybody, Merry Christmas from Emerson Knives, and we're ready now to do the auction and lottery, our virtual knife show. So I'm real happy, we made it through another year. I've got some really good stuff for you this year. I've got some really cool auction knives. I'm going to go through them before we start here to kind of give you a little taste of what we've got. And these are what I call the super customs, which are the fancy fancies. I'm going to start with the first one here, which is a knife that we're doing for the St. Jude's Children's Hospital charity. And it's a knife now that was from a model that we've previously made for SIG firearms with the green blade. It's got vines and roses engraving on it. It's the first knife that actually has our cool Emerson skull coin in it. And it's signed by me on the back for what it's worth. And this one is the one that's going to be in the auction for St. Jude's. Now, honest, we all love Christmas. We all love being with friends and family, but those little kids that are at that hospital, they're just going to be in a hospital bed or in a wheelchair. So be generous. We'll take any donation you want to give. If you want to send $1 to us, we'll take that. But be generous in bidding for this knife. This was my wife's idea. She came up with the vines and roses and also the green blade. It's a bitchin' knife. It's a flipper. So anyway, that's our main one for the auction. We want you guys to help us out. 100% of that money goes to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So anyway, I'm going to go through just a couple of these. We have a knife that has been around for a long, long time, but very, very few have ever been made. This is called the Nouveau Stealth. So we've got that one up for the auction. I know you guys are going to love it. It's ultra cool, and it goes all the way back to some of the first knives that I ever made. I decided to make one up. I think Megan might have mentioned it to me. I've got a Super Rhino. Again, I think there's only been one or two of these ever made. Got the Super Rhino. Got a brand new knife called the Sax Knife with a maple handle on it. Ultra cool knife. Love the blade design. It's the Viking, knife of choice, so to speak. And so I've got that along with a Sax fixed blade that also has a maple handle on it. Now they're not a set, but I thought it looks cooler than cool to have a knife with the tiger maple on it. So we got a wooden fixed blade and a wooden folder handle, along with another knife that, again, I've never made one of these before. I mean, I've made the model, but I've never made one like this. It is the MV3 in all black, and I'll tell you what, this is a sinister looking knife. It's beautiful, absolutely stunning. So again, I think you guys will like this. It's going to be in the auction. So. And we got a few others. I've got a black 6 here with no wave on it. Very rare, non-checkered handle. So I've got that up for auction. So you guys will enjoy this one, all you 6 collectors. And then I've got some of the others, which are a pearl-handled knives. And I've got a nice little dagger that is ground on 4 sides, basically. Really, really nice. Basically a hand dagger, and I know you guys are going to love this because I love it too. I mean, I think it's cooler than cool. So got the dagger, got a fixed blade Persian over here, and I've got a CQC 8 fixed blade with a bird's eye maple handle on it. Another one for all you guys that are yearning for the Emerson fixed blades. So we got that going. And anyway, I've got a nice selection of the customs for you this year. I've got quite a few 6s, and there's a lot of really cool stuff. Right now I'm looking for Danny. I don't know where he went, but I gotta have him here to work the cameras. So I'm just waiting to see him come back onto the scene. And we're going to start moving. I'm going to go over and... Okay, here we go. We're going to get the lottery going and see what we've got. I've got a bunch of sixes. Oh, Lordy. Figures I didn't turn my phone off. Hello? What? I'm having a little trouble understanding. Kim Jong-un? What? Korea? North Korea? What? No, no way. I'm not putting, you're not getting a knife from me. No, and I'm not putting your name in. You're way too late. Mr. Un, I don't give a dang if you're the president of the country. Oh, what? Nuclear bomb? Yeah, right. Try that with me. I'll come over there and I'll kick your ass myself. Yeah, well, Merry Christmas to you, Kim Jong-un. See you later. Bye. Jeez. Some guys have nerve, man, I'm telling you. All right, here we go. Got a lottery going. We're going to pick the first knife. I was going to say I've got quite a few sixes here, 3 of them at least, a flipper. I've got a couple 7s. I've got some hunting knives with brown G10 handles. Got a Sax Knife and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. So let's get this show on the road. I've got all the knife models in here, so I'm going to go ahead and pick out a knife. Aaron, go ahead and pick out the first name, and let's see what we end up with. And we'll get this show on the road.
All right.
I'll pick the knife. First knife is a CQC6. Who is going to get the CQC6? Cindy Blair. Cindy Blair, first one picked. And the first knife is a CQC6. So, Cindy, Merry Christmas to you. Aaron, I'm going to hand these back to you. You can put them in that box down there on the floor. CQC6, off the table. Okay, next knife is CQC7 Waveless. CQC7 Waveless, classic design, goes all the way back to the beginning. Mark Gruentes, Gruentjes. Mark Gruentes. I'm sorry, man, I'm probably butchering your name big time, but we'll get you. We know the spelling. Aaron, I'm going to hand this over to you also. To put with Cindy Blair's so we know which person goes with which knife. Okay. Pick the next knife, CQC 45. CQC 45, Sean Lorman. Sean Lorman. CQC 45. Where are you? Right here. And I need to take that CQC7 waveless off here because that one went to the other gentleman. Okay. Picking another knife out. This time it is the Big Bulldog. The Big Bulldog. And the next person up is Chad Aquino. It's either Aquino or Aquino. A-Q-U-I-N-O. Chad. All right, with the Big Bulldog. Okay. Big Bulldog. Okay. Next knife out of the gate is CQC5. Little brother to the CQC6. And who do we have? Brad Kirkendall. Brad Kirkendall with a CQC5. There we go, Aaron. Thank you. Okay. Next knife out of the box is the Roadhouse. And this one we did this year I took and put a black handle on it, so it's a little bit of a spin-off. It doesn't have the green handle. It looks really nice, so it's a great knife. It's the Gray Bolster Roadhouse is what I wrote here. So who gets that? That knife is for Sharon Simmons, the Gray Bolster Black-Handled Roadhouse. Okay, next knife is the Sig knife, the knife that we were making for Sig Firearms, a flipper. And who gets that? That knife is for Regent Chrysostomo, Cristomo, Regent, with the Sig knife flipper. Very, very nice design. One of my new favorites, actually, as far as knife designs. It's tough for me because I like all the knives. Otherwise, I wouldn't build them. But some of them are they kind of pop up as being favorites. Market Skinner, one of our new hunting knives with a brown G10 handle, and that knife goes to Matt Rossetti. Market Skinner, and this is a rare knife because number one, I've only made a few of them, maybe 3 or 4 max, but it's got the brown G10 on it rather than the standard green. So nice knife, great hunting knife. Okay, next knife up is the Rendezvous, another one of our hunters. John Uckman. Hello, John. Merry Christmas to you. John is a very, very well-known knife purveyor. Has some of the best knives in the world from some of the best knifers in the world. I feel real honored that he's interested in having some of my knives also. So again, thank you, John. Thank you for supporting us for quite a while. You get the Rendezvous, another one of our new hunters. And again, it's a little rare with the brown G10, and I've only made several of those also. So for John, the Rendezvous. All right, next one up. CQC6. Who's going to be that one? Okay, here we go. Chase Kuehnl, Kuehnl, a CQC6 for Chase. Merry Christmas on that one. Thank you, Aaron. I'm trying to move pretty fast because I know some of you might even be on your lunch hours, so I'm trying to get through this while so you don't get in trouble at work. CQC 13 is the next knife up. And that knife goes to Jovan Kostur, Kostur, Jovan, with a CQC 13. There we go. All right, still a couple 6s left, a couple 7s left. What do I got? CQC 15. And that knife goes to Alan Sy, S-Y, Alan Sy, CQC 15. Next one coming up is another real rare one. In fact, I actually, it's so rare I put the name prototype on it. It's the waved Persian. It's the first one that we've done, basically, of the Persian custom knives with a wave on it. So it is a prototype. It's a waved Persian, and that knife is for Craig Richter, R-I-C-H-T-E-R, Craig Richter, with the prototype waved Persian. All right. Next knife is a CQC 7 waveless, a no wave 7. Back to the original design. John DeMorris, D-E-M-O-R-R-I-S, John DeMorris with the waveless CQC7. Next one up, Flipper 6. We have a Flipper 6 here for all of you that enjoy the flippers. They're pretty cool. I actually didn't like them in the very beginning, but the more that I played with them and messed with them, the more I like them. I can see why they're a big hit with people. Sean Conley, C-O-N-L-E-Y, with the Flipper 6. Off the table. Now, I'm going to pause for just a second because I want to talk about a couple things. One of the things that I want to talk about is the fact that we're going to be doing ballet songs. And those will be coming out probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks. We're trying to make it for Christmas. I don't think we're going to make them before Christmas. But the first models that are coming up are there'll be a CQC7 model, and there will be a Commander model of the ballet songs. So keep your eye on those, and they'll be up as fast as we can get them. The other thing I wanted to show you, again, we're very, very pleased with our axes. And I might have mentioned it before, you may have seen it on a couple of our things, but this is a 1,000-year-old authentic Viking axe, a real one used in battle. This is our axe. You can see the family resemblance. It's almost a one-to-one copy of this 1,000-year-old battle axe. This is the Emerson battle axe. This is the Viking battle axe. I figured it like this. Look, these guys were using these things in hand-to-hand combat. For whatever reason else they needed to use an axe for, they had it down when it came to axes. And they were known as the greatest axe-wielding warriors in the history of mankind. And I figured, you know what? I'm not going to try and outdo a Viking warrior, so that's why we made our axe. And I'll tell you, the cool thing is once I got these axes done and we were beating the heck out of stuff and chopping stuff up, those Vikings knew what the hell they were doing when it came to designing axes. So here is our version of that. They will be out. I'm trying to get those out before Christmas. Don't know if I'm going to make it, but we're going to have fewer than 100 of them available, but you're going to love it. And I beat the heck out of one up in the woods a bunch of times and still was able to carve my turkey with it without touching the edge at all. So that's how decent these and sharp these axes are. Down the road, not yet, but down the road, we're following up with the Emerson Combat Tomahawk. Again, great design, great handle ergonomics, and all of that good stuff. The axes will also come standard with a G10 handle. It'll be extra for the wood because I don't have a lot of time to build wooden handles for the axes, so that they're going to be a little more, but if you'd like to get one with a wooden handle, you can always request that. But again, they'll be a higher price than the standard G10s. All right, let's get back to those remaining knives here. Next one up is the Half-Mate. The Half-Mate. Now that's a handful of knife. Don't get me wrong. Don't kid yourself. That's an ass-kicking, cutting son of a gun. That goes to Gerald Powers, P-O-W-E-R-S, for the Half-Mate. There we go. The next knife up is another hunting knife, the Appalachian with the brown G10 handle. And that knife goes to Tim Hawkinson, H-O-K-I-N-S-O-N. Now, some of you may ask, look, hey, what does Ernest Emerson know about hunting knives? Because he's a tactical guy and he's put all of his eggs in that basket since the beginning of his knife career. Well, I'll tell you something about hunting knives. I grew up in northern Wisconsin in a culture where you hunted as soon as you could stand up on your own 2 feet. Started hunting birds with a BB gun when I was probably 6, 7 years old. Graduated up, I think on my 10th birthday or so, my dad bought me my first 22. I started deer hunting when I was 12, duck hunting, partridge hunting, quail hunting, you name it. I spent a lot of time in the woods in addition to hunting and also pulping out in the woods with my dad. So believe me, I know about hunting knives. I grew up on a farm. I know how these knives work. So yeah, can I design a good hunting knife? Damn right I can. So look for those coming up in the future also. Here we go, CQC7. Who gets the CQC7? All right, Gregory Freitas, start over, F-R-E-I-T-A-S, Gregory Freitas with the CQC7. Okay, we're getting down to brass tacks, they used to say. CQC6, got one of those left on the table right there. Who will be that name? Dan Huang, H-U-A-N-G. Dan gets a CQC6. All right, Aaron, I know I'm keeping you running over there. All right, the next knife up is the Aftershock. Another good knife. Again, you know, we're known for ergonomics, and that's been my mainstay from the very beginning was, you know, a knife can look good or it can be hyped up or whatever, but really it comes down to what does it feel like when it's in your hand? And I guess I've done a pretty good job of designing knives for that ergonomic feel, for the comfort, for the ability to use the knife in whatever grip you'd want to use it in. Which is, again, a key thing because, you know, I could make a hammer, but if I had a goofy grip on the hammer and it hurt your hand every time you hit a nail, then, you know, who cares? Who cares what name is on it? Who cares who made it? Who cares what material it's made out of? And I'll tell you, the thing about what I do is I don't really care how they look. They've got to feel good. And the funny thing is if they feel good, they actually look good too. So, you know, I guess I've done a pretty good job of making that marriage between those two things. So, anyway, this has a great ergonomic feel. And again, when you pick it up, you'll understand what I'm talking about. The Aftershock goes to Alan McLean, M-C-L-E-A-N, Alan McLean. Man, I've still got that Sax knife sitting there. Nobody's got that one. From the response we got on the social media stuff when we posted the Sax, I know there's some people out there that probably got their fingers crossed to get drawn for that Sax. Next knife up is the Bulldog. Bulldog goes to Aaron Liao, L-I-A-O, Aaron, with the Sax. All right. And I think all these auction knives are starting to go up. Danny, you put them up. They're going up online kind of as we speak, correct? All right. So, again, you'll be able to take a look at the close-up pictures and all that of those auction knives. Again, I just want to mention again, St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Be generous. That's an ultra-cool knife for an ultra good cause, okay? We have so much. I'm not kidding. If you have the money to buy one of these Emerson knives, then by God, you got enough money to spare a few dollars to send to these people that need help. These are innocent children that have been stricken in the worst possible way. So please, please be generous. Here we go. Kwaiken, another real hot knife that we make now, goes to Daniel Favano. Dan, longtime friend, big-time knife collector. Again, a good guy. You know, here's the cool thing too is in the world of custom knives, people want to get a knife from somebody who's their favorite maker or who they like their style. But it's also important for a maker like myself, if you look at just the custom aspect of it, that the best knife purveyors and the best knife collectors in the world also wanted to collect my knives, which made it like, damn, that's super cool, because these guys are also knife experts. They see everything. And again, Dan, a big-time knife collector and purveyor, thank you for following us for so many years and being a faithful friend. Dan Favano with the Kwaiken. All right, we're getting down, getting down. What do we got? Commander. One of our most famous designs. Commander. Who gets that, Aaron? Jonathan Demora. D-E-M-O-R-A. Jonathan with the Commander. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Combat Systems Fighter. Again, one of my favorite knives. I designed it for our combat system, and again, it's a great knife. It's based off the Roadhouse handle with a tiger-type blade on it. Excellent knife in the hand. You know I love the curve, because the curve keeps cutting as you introduce it into any kind of material, whether you're cutting up a steak or, God forbid, you're having to cut up a bad guy who's trying to do harm to you or your family. Anyway, there's the Emerson Combat Systems Fighter, and that goes to Tamar Ruchanian, Tamar, Rouchanian. Thank you, Aaron. Help me with that pronunciation. I'm bad. All right, we have 4 knives left. And we are down to CQC5. CQC5. And who is this for? Clinton Belk, B-E-L-K, Clinton with the CQC5. Man, I'm thinking that Sax is going to be the last knife picked. I figured that would be something I would have picked out earlier. Oh, well, here it is, the Sax Knife. Again, thank you, Vikings, for a great design. I just turned it into a folder. In fact, if you know, just as an aside, the Saxons, who were some great warriors of the Middle Ages, their name Saxon was derived from the fact that they carried a Sax knife. So when they talked about these guys, they called them the Saxons, those who carried the Sax knife. So again, it's been around for a long, long time. I'm all about you can improve on some things. Some things you can improve on, some things you can't. Sax knife would be a hard one to improve on. That knife goes to Jason Cunningham, and this is a prototype. This is the first Sax folding knife, and this one's going to be a winner. We had a huge response to this knife when we posted photos of it. And Danny said to me today, he goes, Ernie, I think we might have to make that into a production knife. So I'm going to run it by the board. That means my wife, Mary, my daughter Megan, and my daughter Rachel. And we'll see if they all vote thumbs up on making the Sax knife a production knife. So keep your fingers crossed if you're interested in that. Thank you, Aaron. And again, I just want to say a couple words here. The thing about Christmas is really to enjoy friends and family, and to be thankful, again, for all the good stuff that's happened in your life during the year and at Christmas time, and probably again in the future. And just remember that, you know, there's people all over the world that they're in a tough place. So be very thankful for all the good things that we have, for all the good things that we have in this country, for all the good comfort and safety that we have here. No matter what you hear on the media, it's still, this is the best place on earth to live, bar none. There's no place on earth that there's no place I could even think of. I can't even imagine a place that I'd rather be than right here in the United States of America. I also want to say, before we run out of time, thank my wife for really putting up with me, all my shenanigans, all these years. She has been the rock upon which I built my knife company. And I want to thank my daughters, Megan and Rachel, who now work here. And I'm working on my son, Lucas. Don't know if he's going to work in the knife company or not. He talks about working for DARPA or going to MIT and being some kind of engineer. And that might help our knife company in the long run, I don't know. But anyway, I want to say thank you to my family. Again, my grandchildren, Nico and Lorenzo, my son-in-law, Randy. Again, these are great people. I love Christmas. I love being around the family. And I really am thankful for it. I think about it all the time. But I want to really tell all of you also, think about the good things that are going on in your life and be very, very thankful for all the good things that you have. So anyway, last two knives. Flipper 7. Flipper 7. Who's going to get that? That knife goes to Christopher Baker, Flipper 7. All right, down to the Journeyman. Last knife on the table, the Journeyman. Again, some of you might know I made that knife for a bunch of individuals that are with the SEAL team. And so this knife has been there, done that. And it's a long story behind that, which I don't want to go into right now, but that knife had something to do with all the guys that were shot down in Afghanistan in that chopper a few years ago. So anyway, the Journeyman, and that knife goes to David Hicks. All right, David Hicks got the Journeyman. Now, that leaves us with one last knife. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put all the names back into the drawing, and this knife will be a Christmas present from all of us here at Emerson Knives to someone out there who gets picked. And this is the new Counter-Strike knife. Again, super ergonomic handle. It has our new coin in it. It's a signature series knife. They're all signed by me. And by the way, I want to tell you, it was my wife Mary's idea to go with the coin and design that coin. And I think she knocked it out of the park. It's super cool. And it's a great knife. Again, great ergonomics, no matter how you want to hold the knife, how you want to use it, whatever. Superior knife. It's got the Emerson trailing Tonto blade. That signature series will be coming out shortly, maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks, so keep your eyes open for that. They'll be available directly from us here at Emerson Knives. And this is serial number 10. And there's only going to be 62 of these made, so this is number 10 of 62. So some lucky person is going to get that knife. And that one's a gift from all of us at Emerson Knives to you. So, are we ready, Aaron?
Almost.
Almost. Okay, spin them up. Okay. And this time, the lucky winner is Charlie Kuhnel. Kuehnl. Charlie, this knife's for you. Have a Merry Christmas and enjoy. Now, we're all done. Thank you all. Thank Aaron, Danny, Ernesto, Megan, everybody that's helped put this thing together for me and being able to present this to you. Again, have a Merry, Merry Christmas. Be safe. Don't have too much fun. And we'll see you at our next one, which will be in the spring coming up. So we'll have some more knives and some more cool stuff. Be sure you check out the auction if you're interested in some of these fixed blades. I haven't made fixed blades for quite a long time, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them in the auction. So along with those other cool knives that are very, very pretty and very, very fancy. So again, thank you all for spending your time with me. Thank you for being interested in Emerson knives, and thank you again for